What's up guys, it's Everett here. In this video we're going to cover a foundational shoulder stretch. It's for internal shoulder rotation. It's called the sleeper stretch. It's very popular within the FRS system, which is the mobility training system I work within for groups and clients and myself. So to put it simply, if your shoulders don't rotate, the joint capsule doesn't rotate, you're in trouble for both long-term health and performance. And I get a lot of people, and you might relate to this, that just endlessly stretches different muscles or tries to strengthen different muscles. You get a lacrosse ball, you're always trying to chase out trigger points in your traps or your rotator cuffs or your lat, and it kind of helps, but then the issues come back, or you never really make as much progress. Again, the shoulder has to rotate. So I find when I get people with better internal shoulder rotation, one, that could be just what they're lacking and everything else starts working better. Or if they do need to stretch different areas, those stretches start to pay off. Opposed to you stretch, you feel good, and then it comes back real quick. So again, foundational. Is it sufficient? That's all you need to do? Possibly, possibly not, but it's something you need to be consistent within. So as always, we're focusing on just the internal shoulder rotation. So we're trying to isolate the rest of the body and take it out of the equation and just focus right here. So the way we set up is extremely important. You might get in the same position that I look like I'm in, but you're not doing the same things. So you need to follow these cues to the T. So let's hop into it. So we'll go through the setup real quick and then we'll break it down to make sure you're actually in the right position. And as always, you're not compensating with another part of your body to get more range of motion, but you're not actually affecting this shoulder. So here we go. We're going to first off retract the shoulder blades. Now this isn't necessary for people who do have better internal rotation. You don't have to do this, but for beginners or people who lack rotation, I find this helps out a lot, isolating just that glenohumeral joint. So retract, meaning pinch the shoulder blades. You should feel them behind your back touching. Then we're gonna lay down and then drop the elbows wide. So drop and drop. Now you notice I have a 90-degree difference between my body and my arm, 90-degree bend in the elbow. I'm gonna roll over, essentially pinning this shoulder down with my torso, and then free hand rotates in like this. So looks pretty simple, and you'll feel a stop, a hard stop when you hit your end range. It's not like a hamstring stretch where you feel that kind of nice stretch sensation. This one, because we're getting into the joint, it literally just dead ends. So a couple things to watch out for. If you're in this position and you can drop straight to the ground like that, there's no way you have that internal rotation. So you're probably cheating with your shoulder. And this is what we're about to get into, is this shoulder slides up closer to my ear, all right? So I've talked about this before, I've made this analogy. Imagine your arm is a tire iron and you're taking a bolt off of your wheel of your car because you got a flat tire. So the bolt's right here, it's your shoulder, and we're just lefty-loosey or righty-tighty, all right? So if I hit the end range here, but I want more range of motion, I'm just gonna hike that shoulder, and that's not rotation anymore. That's shoulder elevation. And if I were to sit up and freeze my body, this is what I've got going on. And that's not how I wanna bench or throw a punch. And if you're even sitting in a chair right now, you can just do this. Pull your elbows back, get your elbow in line with your shoulder. That's how we wanna be when we're on the ground. So almost like we're doing a side plank. We have a really good stacked position, very stable. We're gonna do a side plank for a minute. But now if you lift up your shoulder, you can feel your shoulder blade or your scapula move as well. And again, we're going for joint independence before interdependence, meaning I want my shoulder to be able to internally rotate on its own. I don't want other parts of the body to be involved to make up for that lack of rotation. That's gonna affect, again, your health, your performance, might cause injuries down the road, catastrophic injuries or nagging injuries. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pinch and drop the elbows and keep that elbow wide. The tendency is to have this elbow drop and then the shoulder hike up. And as we roll over, do so carefully. Again, think about pinning this shoulder down. We don't want it to slide up, pin it down. Now, as you roll over, if you go too far, at a certain point, that shoulder's gonna pop up. So if you can't go as far as you'd like, that's fine. Just stop right when you feel that shoulder about to pop up, even if it means your chest is more up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna take that hand and internally rotate carefully. We're gonna do 2 minutes per side. Now, if you don't feel anything in the first like 20, 30 seconds, don't just start cranking down. This is a stretch that, again, a minute into it, your arm might go a little numb or a little tingly. So don't crank down with everything you have. Just find that hard stop and hang out there. So you can also get a pillow or a yoga block for your head so that way you can relax your neck. And then finally, if you're really having trouble, even just rotating over like this and this shoulder immediately wants to hike up, get a couple of yoga mats or even do this on your bed on a mattress. That way there's a little bit of give or leeway. The shoulder can push down into a soft surface and the hard surface isn't popping the shoulder up. So that's another option. So again, hip bend, knee bend, that kind of slacks the entire system, and just hang out here 2 minutes per side. But really watch this shoulder and think, hey, am I rotating just at the shoulder, or is the shoulder blade moving along the side of the body and hiking up towards the head? Okay, again, just imagine right here, you've got your forearm on the ground and you're doing a side plank, a nice active shoulder, all right? 2 minutes per side. So that's a stretch. Again, very simple stretch. The setup is super important, so take your time with it. And this is all about consistency. Again, I explain the concepts here because people jump from thing to thing, from thought process to thought process, stretch to stretch. And it's all about being consistent in time under tension. So again, this stretch, this is like training. You don't just squat once and you have a great squat. You need to be consistent with it. And especially if you're sitting at a desk all day or working out pretty hard with weights, this should be in your program. I would not do this before you work out, but after you work out and off days, this will be a game changer for a lot of you. It definitely was for me. So if you like this stretch, obviously hit the like button. That's what it's there for. It's gonna help more people find this stretch, which will help them out as well. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And if you want an internal hip stretch, check out my hip mobility course. It's on my website, 2.5 hours of content, 29 bucks, all right? But until the next video, thank you. Do this, do it often, do it right, and see you soon.